Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Cuz You Don't Know Football. Listen, guys, I had to put this together today. We our lighting situation is all fucked up. We had to do it, but we had to get y'all what you needed. You know what I'm saying? So I just want you to know we're working hard for you. I want you guys to know how hard we're working for you, and we want to thank you for always being a part of this. So by next week, this is going to look a lot better. But for right now, this is going to be just fine. All right, so we got our man Daniel. How you doing, brother?
Doing real good, real good. How we doing, guys?
Man, the weather's looking up, man. I can't complain about nothing right now.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
I know we talk about football, but I even get out there, yeah, man, get some buckets up. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in a given mood like that, because
Every Hey, listen, you got to hand some L's out sometimes. I
you gotta
understand.
give them some buckets if you're in the mood. You know what I'm saying? That's just a good spirit. You feel me?
Exactly. Spreading the
So
joy.
go ahead.
Spreading the joy.
So, of course, today, we're gonna be talking about a couple things. Some teams where we think they at right now, some quarterbacks where we're moving things, but that kind of always explains a lot of what goes into like the start of the season anyway. And so this is gonna say a lot about where you think some teams are actually gonna be. So I'm really excited to hear your answer. So let's start with what I want to start with. Actually, I want to talk about the starting quarterbacks that you think are going to be the most improved or the ascending or however you want to articulate that.
For me, I mean, it's kind of hard not to have Mahomes at the top of everything. How much better can he
That's
get?
cheating. That's cheating.
You know what I'm saying, though?
But you know what? That's a good point, though. That's a great point. So, no, finish what you were going to say, then I'll say what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Like it's hard to be like, not him, but like he gets better with less weapons somehow. You know what I mean?
So I was
He'll
actually saying that like at the beginning of the season, I was talking about Mahomes, and I was like, you do understand, like so Teddy Bruschi said this, and I'm talking about Tom Brady to get back to Patrick Mahomes. Teddy Bruschi said it was about Tom Brady's 6th year when he became Tom Brady might be the GOAT, that guy, when he became that guy. So for the first like 6 years, he was being carried, Teddy Bruschi said that. I didn't say that he was being carried by the defense, the
defense.
coaching, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. This is going into that first year where, in terms of Patrick Mahomes, we're going into that 7th year where that's where Tom Brady made that quantum leap. Are we looking at a situation where Patrick Mahomes can make a quantum leap like that?
Listen, that's the thing. How much better can he get? You know what I mean?
If you
He
look
has
at it
the.
through the view of how much better Tom Brady got, I think he can get a lot. I don't know. That's
That's what I'm
scary.
saying.
That's
That's what I'm saying.
scary.
He's more athletic. You know what I mean? Like so, yeah. So he's definitely on that list of improving, just because he keeps improving.
Well,
He gets better
Kanye,
every year.
Kanye asked Kobe in a commercial, well, how much better can I get? He told me you can break more records. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? You see,
That's all you can do.
he might be a different animal and the same beast. You see what I'm saying?
Listen, Mahomes is a monster.
Go
I
ahead,
love
keep going.
I love CJ Stroud,
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence. Even though
Trevor
Jamal probably
Lawrence. Oh
listen.
no.
I know
Oh,
Jamal's gonna have something
no.
to say about that one.
Keep talking. We're gonna talk about that. Keep talking. Keep talking.
But I think he's up there. Joe Burrow, just because when he comes off an injury, he seems to cut up.
Mm-hmm.
He gets hurt, and then the following season he cuts up. So he was hurt last year. I expect him to, just like with my next one, Aaron Rodgers. He gets hurt or he has a bad season. He comes back, wins the MVP. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I got Tua, adding another weapon on the outside. I mean, the
Tua.
course.
Oh, we got two things to talk about now. Keep
And
going.
then,
Keep going.
my last one for the list I made was Kirk Cousins down in Atlanta, because there's weapons galore. They just didn't have a quarterback.
See, no, hold on. I'm not overly mad at Kirk Cousins, although I think that he'll be all right. They're gonna make the playoffs. He'll be all right.
Here's the thing: Kirk Cousins slings it.
He's good.
He slings it.
He's good. He's just not clutch. So I think they'll make
No,
the playoffs. He's not going to help them get over any hump that they was already
if
at.
if we're blowing him out, he's good.
Mm-hmm.
If the Falcons are blowing you out, he looks golden. If he's got to come back or fourth quarter type thing, yeah, then I got questions.
So let's get back to this Trevor Lawrence and Tua thing that you said. So when all right, so let's start with Trevor Lawrence. You said Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence might be the third best quarterback in his own division. Now, that's then when we talk about the AFC South, we got CJ Stroud, we got Trevor Lawrence, we got Anthony Richardson, and Will Levis. We know Will Levis is the worst quarterback in the division.
True.
The question is, are you sure Anthony Richardson is not better than Trevor Lawrence today? Because I have no question that CJ Stroud is better than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I think CJ Stroud is better than all of them in that division.
Okay. Okay.
But I like Trevor because of the defense and the weapons around him.
But they lost Calvin Ridley this offseason.
But picked up the other wide receiver, which is in the draft. What's his name?
Yeah, but he's a rookie. So all right, so I don't like rookies to say, all right, he's gonna help us get over a hump. Rookies traditionally do not get you over humps. So,
I didn't used to. And then Jamar came out and Justin came out and
Jamar wasn't Jamar didn't help them get
Jamar Chase with the Bengals.
He was a rookie when they went to the Super Bowl.
Second year, rookie year.
Okay, second year I can live with. Year number 2, I can live with. Year number 1 is where I'm saying. So you're replacing a veteran with a rookie. Usually in that year, that doesn't mean you're better at that position. That rarely happens. That you're that you're even better, but let alone getting over a hump. I actually tend to think that he's got less weapons this year. And next year, he'll have more weapons. This year, he's got less weapons than he did last year. And he's supposed to be better than he actually is.
Listen, I'm trying to give him grace, but I've never thought he was all that because I don't think much of the ACC. Like, like from high school through college, he was like, he's lost 2 games. He played nowhere in high school, and he played in the ACC in college. I'm not impressed by that.
But he's like CJ Stroud is what Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be. Now, my only question is Anthony Richardson better than Trevor Lawrence? Because if that's true, then this stock is falling. They got to start over because if Anthony Richardson is better than Trevor Lawrence, the Colts roster is also better as a roster than Jacksonville's roster.
I think Colts have a better roster. I think the Jaguars have the better quarterback.
We'll see, man. So Tua, huh? You know, I had a lot to say about Tua, and I felt like I was kind of right about him. So I always hear, you know what I mean? So when you say ascending, right? You're telling me you think he's gonna have a better year this year than he did last year?
Yes, because what he has offensively reminds me of his Alabama days. I do not think he's a superb quarterback, but he can get the ball down the field. And when you have guys who are running 4.1 40s, 4.2 40s,
Yes, they got
4.3 40s, all on the outside, all he got to do is chuck it up there. And that was Alabama. Like, no disrespect, but like he had Jerry Jeudy, some of the best wide receivers in college ever, and he just dropped back. They down there somewhere. They down there somewhere.
Yeah, but once again, the Dolphins didn't really address offensive line like they should have, and that's what unraveled them. They don't have these wide receivers. When you figure out that, oh, they have to get down the field to be as productive, which the league pretty much figured out. Well, what's the next thing you got to do? You know what I mean? What's your the next switch, the off switch or the on switch, or however you want to look at it? What do you do when the league figured out all you can do is run past me? And that's the only way you're going to beat me. And all these long drives, you're going to fuck it up. What do you do next?
That's why he has to ascend, is to keep them where they were last year. It's
Fair
on
enough.
him.
Fair enough.
It's more of a pressure thing as opposed to an expectation thing. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right, cool. Well, I got some quarterbacks that I think are going to be ascending. So on a smaller scale, I actually do think Kyler Murray is going to be looking closer to what you think he actually is all along. I think when you give him Marvin Harrison Jr., I think that's a weapon. I looked at like what he did, what he looked like when he came back off of injury. They were comparable. Like they were a good enough team. You know what I mean? When he came back from injury. So I'm looking at him as one. I'm looking at, and I know I'm saying this name because I just can't believe the season's going to be as bad as it was last year. They just did a lot offensively. I think Bryce Young is going to be better than he was last year.
Have to, right?
Right. But like I think like when you looked at the offense, it was just like, yo, he has nothing. He didn't have an offensive line. He doesn't have weapons. He doesn't have like he don't have a running game. I don't even think is Miles Sanders still even there. I don't
I
think
don't think
Miles
so.
Sanders. So he didn't even have a running back they could depend. Like he had literally nothing, and it was like be magic. And I was like, that's
And he and
completely
he
unfair.
and he's not big like Anthony Richardson or Josh Allen, where
Right.
he just
He's the
take over.
smallest guy on the field. You know what I mean? So it's not many situations where I'll look at somebody making millions of dollars and say that's not fair, but that wasn't fair to him.
Yeah, it's not
So
fair.
I think he's one who's going to be ascending. And I'm even though he was number one overall pick, I'm still saying Caleb Williams. He's another one who's going to be ascending. He's going to do great. I think he's going to do great things, and
Yes,
I'm very
yes, he
excited to
is.
see what he does. He puts a smile on my face, just in that
Listen,
same way Mahomes puts a smile on my face. You see what I'm saying? So I'm very excited to see what he got going on.
he may have the best situation coming in for a first year quarterback. They revamped the line. They brought in
That's never
weapons.
we've never seen a number one overall pick come into a situation that's this
This
good.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It's like the
usually it's
opposite of
trash.
what Bryce had. It's the opposite of what Bryce
You
got.
see what I'm saying? That's not fair. What happened to
They
Bryce?
got
See?
you got a running back, you got you know what I mean? Like they just picked up my boy from the Eagles.
Right. So all right. So this is the last um this is the last one that I'm going to give you. And this one's going to be a little bit more not controversial, but I gotta give a reason behind it. I'm going Josh Allen too. I think
Really? We're gonna
yes.
talk about that one.
Yeah.
Discuss that one. We are gonna discuss that one, sir.
I think Josh Allen is going to show y'all how good he actually is. Listen, I think when you look at all right, yes, he lost Diggs. You know what I mean? He lost the wide receivers, he lost Gabe Davis. You know what I'm saying? I understand all that. As a quarterback, and this is what I say about quarterback. As a quarterback, you got to be able to put some shit on your back and roll with it, okay? And we still got rolls to wins. When I'm looking at his wide receiver core now, people see rookies. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. I do think they'll be back in the playoffs, though. I don't think they're one of the
Really?
teams that misses
Well,
the
I
playoffs.
mean, the Dolphins are up and down. I don't give much faith to the Patriots. The Bills have won the last 4 times in that division.
And you got the Jets with Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. Now I do think the Jets might be an actual Super Bowl contender. However,
Yes.
I do think Buffalo gets back into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think AFC East will have 2.
Well, then you saying the same thing that I'm saying. See, it's not
I
controversial.
I think no. I think AFC East will have 2. The Bills have a great chance. I think the Jets have a better chance with that defense coming back. They lost nobody.
Absolutely. And actually, now just like doing a little segment to the Jets. If the Jets actually can get into the playoffs at like, let's say 9-7, where they've lost, they took a lot of licks, they had to figure some shit out, and they scrambled. I'm actually more afraid of the Jets then than if they come in at like 15-1.
Yeah.
13-4. I'm more
Yeah.
scared of the Jets if they come in like, well, it's not 9-7.
Like a
What is it, 10
wounded
and 7? So if they
dog.
come in 10-7, I'm like, y'all may not want to play the Jets. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No,
That's
that because defense travels. Defense travels.
and running games travel.
Yeah.
And if you got a comparable quarterback and he has both of them things, and with no
Dangerous.
pressure, with the thought that they're
Dangerous.
supposed to lose, oh man,
Dangerous.
like you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. So, but yeah, I actually do think Josh Allen is the last of those quarterbacks that I think
Are ascending.
are ascending because he's about to show you something this year.
Mm.
He about to show you something this year that
Listen,
the league ain't
he's
ready
on.
to see.
Listen, I only talked about that because he's on my other list. Like I have been
Well,
a
let's go on over to
huge.
it then. Let's go to it then. Okay, let's talk about now. Here's segment 2. Quarterbacks that you think are descending, trash. This might be their last year as a starting quarterback. Any of these things. Talk to me.
Yeah, I got plenty of them because a lot of them overachieved last year.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar's not going to win MVP. That's descending. However you want to look at it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen. He can't go
I
wrong.
disagree. I disagree.
Right now, Josh Allen is in that Peyton Manning hole against Tom Brady. He keeps seeing him in the playoffs and cannot get past that dude.
Whoa! Don't do that to my man Peyton. First of all, because there's some facts about this that that people aren't ready for to admit. But head to head, outside of Spygate, Peyton Manning was better against Tom Brady than Tom Brady was against Peyton Manning.
AFC Championship games, man.
So watch this. So the Patriots won like 9 straight. Okay, I'm not gonna take that. I'm not gonna lie, that did happen. However, in the playoffs, are you aware that Tom Brady beat Peyton Manning twice in the playoffs? And that Peyton Manning beat Tom Brady 3 times in the playoffs? Now get some fact checking because I'm not. I want you to be fact checking this, but don't do that to Peyton. I'm tired of people doing that to Peyton, acting like Peyton wasn't him. And yes, I will still say, and I will die on the hill. Tom Brady was greater, which means he was top 5 for a longer period of time than Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was better than Tom Brady. Okay. And it showed. It showed. Then there's some conspiracy theories. ESPN
in the regular season.
In the playoffs, he beat him 3 times to 2 in the playoffs.
Listen, 7 rings or more than 2.
But he beat Tom Brady. Tom would have 10 without Peyton Manning, okay?
Listen, without the Manning brothers, Tom Brady might have like 12 rings.
He might have 13. He might have 13 of them things. put rings on his toes, get a pinky ring.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. No, I'm not discrediting Peyton Manning. Never would. Got nothing but love for him because he dominated the SEC. While my dad was coaching at Vanderbilt, I used to watch it from the sideline. Like, how is this white boy doing this? Because he's cold. That's what it is. He's cold. I'm not saying that Josh Allen is on Peyton Manning's level at all, but I'm saying in the last 7 years of Mahomes' career, he's gone to the AFC Championship 6 times and won 6 in a row. 3, 4 of those times he's had to play Josh Allen, and it's come down to the wire. But who comes out on top?
Right, but what I'm saying is what Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen is what people think Peyton Manning or Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning was, and that's not the case. And that's all I was saying. You can
fair enough.
You can
fair enough. Obviously Russell Wilson. You don't get.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that I was absolutely. I was going to go there. Hold on, let's stay there for 1 second. So Russell, first of all, he's an upgrade at quarterback than they had last year.
Yeah.
With that said, he still is probably the worst quarterback in their division. And when you look at that, and when you look at their weapons, now traditionally the Steelers don't have like these. Traditionally, of course, AB came in. That was. He did what he did.
Yeah.
Traditionally, they have guys, and like their group are like guys as opposed to a star wide receiver. But they also always had a quarterback that could do something with these guys, or a running game mixed with a quarterback. Now, unless you're telling me they going back to '96 Steelers with Bill O'Donnell, and we're gonna run the ball about 30 times a game. I don't think he's able to do something with this receiver core. So yeah, Russ is a rough one.
Well, my boy Pickens is a monster. They just never throw him the ball. He makes stupid catches every week, and it's like just throw him the ball. Like every time, just throw him the ball.
But he be dropping the ball sometimes too.
He drops the ball like a 7-yard pass to his chest. He'll drop it. Like, what are you doing? And then he'll catch a 30-yard bomb.
We need you to catch them too. We need you to catch the 7-yard one, just like when you did this and you caught it like that. We need you to catch the 7-yard one that was just like this, and it was easy.
Like that was cool. I need you to do both of those.
I don't know why he won't catch the 7-yard one that's like the drag route, the comeback route. I don't know why he drops those, but he's got to catch them too, and he does drop them a lot as well.
I think, to your point, the quarterback situation with the starter and the backup got a lot better for the Steelers. I think Russ eventually is supplanted by Justin because he's younger, bigger, faster, and you'll have a coaching staff.
Okay, yeah, no, you said that right. Go ahead.
because I think he can flourish with the Steelers. I think the Steelers are a great place for Justin Fields to go and get his mind right. Whatever happened from college through that first, because again, Justin Fields came into a situation with the Bears like Bryce Young did with the Panthers. What nothing ready. He didn't have no line. Wasn't no wide receiver core. Wasn't no
Similar,
running backs.
but I don't know
He
if
had
anybody got a rawer deal than what Bryce just had with the
no,
Panthers.
no. Bryce got the worst by far. But I mean, 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
how do you get any consistency? But you know, with the Steelers though, they're all about consistency.
Right.
They didn't have the same coach for 15 years. They didn't have the same. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so I expect them to do better there. But yeah,
Yeah,
Russell's definitely
I
on.
do think behind the scenes they kind of want Justin Fields to be the guy because he can run. Russ don't run. He can't run anymore, so he can run. And I think they're like, all right, with that we might be able to
With
control.
that, we have Najee. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a 1-2 punch.
That's what they're hoping.
Uh,
But as currently constructed, I do think they have the worst quarterback in the division. Did you have any other
yeah.
names of people?
Oh, sir, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts,
Okay, that's funny that you
Purdy.
said that. Oh, that's funny that you said that. I was gonna do both of them too. I was gonna say both of them. I was gonna say Dak and Jalen, and it's because I don't. When I look at the schedules, it's not even as much as them. I look at the schedules. Nobody's running away with this division. Like this would
No,
see. This is the year in the NFC East where every
this is
team
what I had last
somehow,
week.
every team is somehow 8-8, and then
Week
Washington,
17.
and then Washington wins it because they won 9 games. You see,
Yeah.
like this is that kind of year, and I can see it coming, and I see it the writing on the wall. But I don't think anyway. But honestly, one of them is probably going to win the division. But this will be the year where you're
What's
like,
like you
I can
said?
see
It'll be
it
nine and
coming.
seven. 9-7.
I see it coming. But that's
Uh,
funny that you said that.
I got I got Purdy. I don't think he can sustain that because they're already having contract problems with their big wide receivers.
See,
Golf.
with Purdy, I just think the team is too good for it to really show. Like it's not going to show with Purdy until he gets paid.
Yeah,
So, like, I mean, the team is just so strong that I think that they'll just be able to figure it out. You know what I mean?
because he didn't have to be great, but I still don't think
Not that
he's
anyone
a
noticed.
set
I'm glad you said
right.
that. I'm glad you said that. Not that anyone noticed, but no, he did not have to be great. And they kept saying he was being great.
Like he's just not crashing the car. There's a difference.
Yes, he's two hands on the steering.
Uh,
He drives like
I
this.
got I got Jared Goff.
He drives like this.
Yes, 10-2, man. 10-2. I got Jared Goff. I got Derek Carr with the Raiders. Not the
Jared
Raiders.
Goff's going to decide this year. Oh, we got a decline. Talk about it. I want you to talk about it.
I don't trust the Lions. I do not. I got Jordan Love ascending. I already told you that. You already said you got Caleb Williams ascending.
Mm-hmm.
That already puts them as him as the third best
So,
QB.
yes, and I go with that. I just think also Detroit has the best roster in that division as well. So I don't. All right, so I don't think the Packers get back into the playoffs because of everything you just said. Like I just can't see a scenario where the Bears, like if the Bears don't make the playoffs, Caleb Williams was not ready to play football. You know what I mean, in the NFL right this second. And I don't think that's the case, you know. To be honest.
Right.
So and I think the Detroit Lions having the best roster. The only thing that I would have loved to watch that if they would have got, I would have said, okay, they would take a step forward. If they would have got another pass rusher, I thought
Yeah,
they
they
would
didn't bring any kind to their defense.
they didn't bring another. I mean, they got corners. They got corners, but
Yeah.
they didn't get another pass rusher. And I think if they would have got Aiden Hutchinson, another guy on the outside or interior that basically said he demands a double team as well, I thought they would have been like a real Super Bowl contender in my eyes. Not that they could go back to the championship game. I don't know. You could have a philosophical conversation about is going to the championship games mean that you're a true Super Bowl contender. I'm one that says that doesn't necessarily mean you're a true contender. But you could end up there. um, but yeah, but that was it. But no, I expect Detroit to be back in, which means there's no slide in my eyes for Jared Goff.
I got Derek Carr,
I'm so bad
Mayfield.
for Derek Carr, man. Get him out. I had faith in him last. We had faith in them last. Do you remember?
We picked the Saints.
We looked awful on them.
We started the year off saying the Saints are going to crush that
So
division.
bad. We got crushed in the comments on talking about the damn Saints. You don't know football. They're like, you don't know football. You need to watch more film and stuff like that. I'm like,
Clearly. And I got Baker, the Bucks. I don't think they're. Baker's a win or lose quarterback. You're going to win or lose off his arm like a Jameis Winston.
well, Baker. I don't think Baker's ever been that guy. Like that was like when your division is that bad, and once again, the Saints and Derek Carr are just not going to be what you think they're supposed to be at all. Then I think you squeak in. But like, is there any question about the Falcons not winning? Like, what would be the scenario that the Falcons did not win that division? So if that's the case, in my eyes, this is just who Baker Mayfield is. That's not like for me, I can't put him in slide because I never thought too highly of him as a quarterback. Anyway.
He was already sliding.
He slid a long time ago.
I got you. And my last one was Deshaun Watson, just because he stayed hurt and he just keeps getting worse every year.
Well, he slid. So you think he's going to be worse than last year?
Hard to do when you got hurt so early, but yeah.
So if he's going to be worse than last year, that's sad. That's bad. I just don't think he'll be worse than. I mean, they went to the playoffs and they went down to their fourth. They went to their fourth quarterback. That means there was somebody who was not on that roster that in their eyes was worse than their third string quarterback, and that's who they got into the playoffs with. If Deshaun Watson is worse than that would be sad.
I feel like he's in this Tiger Woods kind of haze where his outside of sports life got blown up.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember how bad Tiger was kind of since the incident. He ain't been Tiger.
Ooh, that's a good comparison. You compared Deshaun Watson to Tiger Woods.
You know what I'm saying? Like he has flashes. You're like, oh, Tiger won this tournament or won that tournament. But like, yeah, but Tiger Woods wins like 8 tournaments in a row. You know what I mean? Deshaun came in the league with the Texans. That dude looked like the next coming of Vic or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Running, dodging, throwing darts. Gets traded to Cleveland. And you're like, okay, Cleveland about to cut up. And then his whole life get blown up.
Mm-hmm.
All the stories come out, the prosecution, all this other stuff. He ain't been right since.
Nah, he ain't been right. He ain't been right since he got right that day. You see where I'm going with that?
Since he got that get right, he ain't been right since.
He was right that day. I can tell you that. That massage worked.
Listen.
All right. So let me give you a couple of mine. So first of all, I'm throwing Trevor Lawrence on there because I actually think Anthony Richardson is better than Trevor Lawrence.
Fair.
I think it's better, and I think the Colts are going to be back in the playoffs. You're going to hear my mouth a lot this year. Okay. So I think Trevor Lawrence is in some deep shit, and he's about to get a new head coach, and coordinator and all of that, and that's going to be a problem.
That's why I had Trevor Lawrence on that initial list, was because of the contract year, the transition that's going to happen if you don't win this year. Like I said, like just like with Tua, it's the pressure. Mm-hmm. It's not an expectation for you to ascend. It's the pressure that you have to ascend.
Yeah. So I did that, and then so I got 2 that I have on notice. So first of all, I'll go to second one afterwards, but I got 2 that's on notice. This is your last chance for me. Geno Smith. If you miss the playoffs with that receiver core again, if you let Matthew Stafford come again, he shouldn't have made the playoffs last year because you were supposed to be better than the Rams. If he come back in and be better than you again, that is your last day as a starting quarterback in the NFL. That I can promise.
I thought his last day when he got his jaw broken with the Jets, but
well, that was the last day talking shit. I can tell you that he ain't talked shit since.
He
nobody.
He
said I'm going. That ain't for me. You see what I'm saying?
I'm playing football, man.
Absolutely. But the other one that I'm putting on notice, I already called him overrated. Have you been keeping up with the reels? Did you see the reel that blew up on it was about like a month ago, but about the most overrated quarterback in the NFL? And I said, excuse me, not Trevor Lawrence, excuse me, Justin Herbert. You won't notice. I can't if you don't make the playoffs now, because like I said, you've been in the league, you got all this hype. People was like, oh, he's, you know what I'm saying? He's elite. He's all this, da da da. You've been in the playoffs one time and blew a 25-point lead. You should have been in, if you was anything that everybody was saying, you'd be in the playoffs at least 2 or 3 times. Okay? If we had a conversation before last year about who was better, even all time, even at the moment, Andrew Luck or Justin Herbert, there would be pause. Andrew Luck took a far inferior roster to the AFC Championship game, let alone the playoffs. So I need to see some results. You got a new coach. You see what I'm saying? You got. I don't want to hear about wide receivers being things. Wide receivers have never been something that has kept great quarterbacks out of the playoffs.
Facts.
That is not what's happened. So I don't want to hear about wide receivers. You got a defense. You got 2 pass rushers. You have a supplemental run game, and you got one of the best head coaches who's going to make sure that you run the ball more.
You got a head coach that wins.
If you don't make the playoffs, boy, he has to hear it. If he don't make the playoffs, he has to hear it.
If he don't make the playoffs, they're drafting his replacement next year.
I don't think they are, but I think that he has to hear it at least. But yeah, I'm not high on Justin Herbert, but I think he could be, with how Harbaugh plays football or coaches football, he could be above average and still make the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Especially in that division.
So if he ain't even above average, then I don't know. But I actually tend to agree with you when you said Lamar Jackson, because I'm looking at Baltimore to slide out the playoffs. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking
that
at
wouldn't surprise me.
And it's not even because I don't think their roster is still good. And I still, don't worry, I got all summer before we do the playoff predictions and stuff like that. I still got to think on it. But I just think when you look at the AFC, there's a lot of teams. I mean, you got the Bills,
so many good quarterbacks.
The Bills, the Jets, the Bengals. I think the Bengals get back in because they actually addressed offensive line for Joe Burrow. It's about damn time.
Right.
So then I got the Texans, the Colts, potentially the Jaguars. I'll give you credence for a little while. Of course, the Chiefs, potentially the Chargers. You know what I mean? So I just named a lot of teams, and somebody gonna get in and somebody gonna come out. You know, so I look at why the Ravens are good, and I'm just curious right now. Is it going to be something that puts them back in the playoffs? Because Lamar Jackson is not a 500-yard thrower kind of guy. He usually throws for about 250. If he's throwing for 250 a game and then they miss the playoffs, that's you know what I mean? That's a descent. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
250 and rushes for 100 and, and they make the playoffs. That's completely different. And then number 1 seed, that's completely different.
I think a lot of it is going to, yes, when you lose, it all falls on the quarterback. You know, when you win, it's other people's success. Their defense is going to play a massive role in how he ends up looking. Because they had the best defense last year,
I agree.
Easily.
I agree.
And I feel like they're improving, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be on him to like not mess up.
And that's the other part. So, but that's the thing. Like, so they actually led the league in sacks last year, but it didn't matter in the AFC Championship game because they didn't have a true like pass rush. They did it by committee.
Yeah.
And and I think having less, because Jadeveon Clowney's not even back there. So having even less, I think it puts more on Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? And I think that might be a lot to ask.
Yeah, he was definitely on my descent list, unfortunately.
And And for the last year, can we finally be done with Daniel Jones? He's about to fuck up Malik Neighbors rookie year. I want you to know that right now. I want everyone to know that right now. Take Malik Neighbors off of your rookie of the year award.
Yeah.
He's about to have 800
500 yards.
800 yards and about like 5 touchdowns. And you don't know why? Because he has a quarterback who's never thrown for more than 18 touchdowns in his whole career and got $45 million a year.
Paid him, but not Saquon.
And they lost Saquon. He's going to ruin his rookie year. Do not take this out on Malik Neighbors. It is not Malik Neighbors' fault. Let me tell y'all
that. No, it is not.
It is not his fault, okay?
God, yeah, Daniel Jones is they're drafting his play. They're already looking at his replacement for next year.
They need to just tank this year. They need to just tank. But like next year, I think next year the quarterback draft isn't too good, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not as deep as this year's, but you probably still have 3 or 4 in that top 10, depending on the teams that are picking.
See, I was even told that it was even weaker than that.
You got Beck, you got Shedeur, you got what's his name coming out of Florida State. He was at Clemson. I can't remember his name. Weird name. Hawaiian name.
Believe me, you always watch more college football than I did. I catch up with you. You feel me?
No, absolutely. Like I said, there's probably 3 or 4 that you can see being first rounders. Whereas this year, talent wise, they had 5 in the first top 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yes, it is much weaker as far as the class.
Okay, so yeah, but you say that, but this draft class really isn't good. It's going to have like 2 quarterbacks at the end of it. They overdraft.
Oh, when it's all said and done, for sure. I mean, Bo Nix, top 12. What are we doing? You know what I mean? Like Michael Penix,
Sean Payton might be the new Bill Belichick, and I'm saying because he don't know what he's doing anymore. He lost it, and I'm like,
the Falcons. Kirk Cousins left the Vikings because they said, if we keep you, we're drafting a quarterback this year. I'm letting you know that our first pick at number 12, or where JJ went. I forgot where JJ McCarthy went. But our first pick, we're getting a quarterback. And Kirk was like, bet. Let me go test free agency. Falcons picked him up, paid him $140 million, which nobody gets paid like Kirk Cousins. And they were like, all right, this is our ever. And they're like, this is our quarterback. We're good. The Falcons pick comes up at number 8 or 9, I forget. And you're like, dude, you got quarterback, you got a running back you can get, you got wide receivers, you got pass rushers. They're like Michael Penix Jr. Listen, that day within 30 minutes, they were like, they already had it.
So we're gonna go on to our next topic. So this topic I named it Good, Bad, Elite, Trash. I tried my best to rhyme it. That was the closest I could get, to be honest with you. Like what you heard was a real attempt of trying to rhyme segment, but it was
worn out.
But yes, Good, Bad, Elite, Trash. So basically all I want you to do is name a team that got a little bit better, name a team that got a little bit worse, name a team that's going to take a quantum leap, and a team about to fall off, probably into the lottery. All right. So let me hear your good team. So give me a team that got a little bit better.
Bears.
And what does that mean? Oh, and what does that mean that they got a little better? Like, where does that put them? Like at 500 and they were in the lottery, or is it they were 500 now they're going to be in the playoffs, or they were in the playoffs and now they like might be a Super Bowl contender?
They'd like the Bears to make the playoffs.
That's cheap. You've been cheating. Now you dropped the home earlier, and now you dropped the Bears. Like, yo, you cheat. Okay, go ahead.
The perfect first 2 picks was Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, which I don't know if you've seen pictures of Odunze. That dude is huge. That dude is a large man.
He's a large individual, and he's fast too. That's scary.
Yeah.
He's very, very, very fast.
So I feel like them going from because their normal pick was number 7, so not good, to being a playoff team this year.
Okay.
A team that I would say fell off for me
Oh no, just do a little bit worse. A little bit worse. Don't give me the extreme.
Oh, a little worse. Bills
I can, I,
losing Diggs.
I can get down with that actually.
I don't think Keon Coleman is as good as they have viewed him. I watched plenty of tape on the kid in college. He's great, but he cannot get off a defender.
Mhm.
A lot of his stuff comes out of the slot and like quick slants and stuff, which is great, but he's not getting off a defender.
Okay. Oh, no, hold on. But
So
so don't go to the extreme ones because I'm gonna give my teams after you finish with this one.
but those are like my top. Those are my top two for sure.
So you're saying, okay, so you're saying the Bills got a little bit worse and the Bears got a little bit better.
Correct.
Well, the Bears got a lot better. First of all, they had the number one overall pick, and now they're
So,
gonna be in the play.
you gotta keep the realization close. You know what I
Like,
mean? You gotta
that
keep
could
it
have been.
here. If you wild out too
I
much,
mean,
you'll be 3-14. I'm gonna kill myself. You know what I mean?
I just feel like there's a lot of semantics to get them to be just a little bit better. I think there's a lot of semantics that basically went into that.
I'll give you another. I'll give you a different one then. Falcons.
Okay.
I think they're picking up
I appreciate you naming the Falcons as a little bit better, more than the Bears. That makes
because
sense.
they didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
They
They had
have
a quarterback
they
last
have
year.
a running back. They have
Probably,
a beast of a tight end. They got wide receivers. The defense is better, and they had nobody to throw the ball.
and that's the highlight also. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the highlight also, the fact that they got Kirk Cousins. Yeah, they're gonna be in the playoffs, but I don't think they get over any humps. You know what I mean? I don't think the NFC South making the playoffs through the NFC South is not a hurdle. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So actually I'm not saying that they should have drafted Michael Penix Jr., but I get it. You know, I get it. I wouldn't have did it, but I understand, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So my team that got a little bit worse to me is actually I had a couple. All right, I'm going to go the Green Bay Packers, and it's not all their fault. I just think like I said, I thought that the Lions roster was going to be, they're not going to miss the playoffs. That's just how I felt. And with the Bears making the playoffs, I actually see them as one of the teams that slide out of the playoffs in the NFC. And I don't think that that's anything to go against Jordan Love or what they have, but I also don't think Josh Jacobs is a vast improvement over Aaron Jones in terms of their running game. So
Running back, yeah.
I don't think they got any better per
I
se.
think it was a lateral move.
Yeah. Yeah. So so I think I don't see where they got tremendously better this offseason to basically say we can take a step forward. And I think in NFL, if you're not taking a step forward, you're taking a step back.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's a team that got a little bit worse to me. A team that I thought got a little bit better. All right, so this one you're not going to see this one coming. I actually think the Tennessee Titans got a little bit better.
You know what? I have the Titans on my good side as well.
So I think the Tennessee Titans got a little bit better. I think they're going to make the AFC South legitimate. They're going to beat the Tennessee Titans. Are going to beat one or two teams that you think that are just going to be that's an easy win. The Titans are going to lose. I think
Titans Bears week 1.
That could be one. You know what I mean? Just like that. That could be one. So I think, unfortunately for them, once again, I do think they have the worst quarterback in the division.
Right.
But I think as a roster standpoint, I think their roster is legitimate and it's going to make them contenders for the AFC South. Truly, I think through the entirety of the year.
Yeah, they were on my slightly better list as well.
Okay. All right, cool. So tell me, Tell me somebody who now is great. Somebody that was either it was trash and now they're a Super Bowl contender, or something in between that sounds a lot better than that. But give me somebody.
Texans. They're already being spoken about. Certain ESPN analysts, blah blah blah, upending the Chiefs in the AFC Championship.
Okay, so there. All right, so I'm glad that you said that, and I'm gonna give my great one, and then we'll go to the trash one after that. My rebuttal to that is I actually don't like that they prioritized offensive line. I mean, they prioritized wide receiver over offensive line. And I think that's taken the bait. And I think anytime that you prioritize having all these weapons and not saying we need a top 10 offensive line, which means you're going to have an average offensive line, and that ends up being the undoing of teams. You can ask Joe Burrow about that.
Yeah, especially with a young quarterback. Yeah.
You can ask Joe Burrow how that feels to have an elite wide receiver core and have no offensive line. Now I think they have a better offensive line than the Bengals did 2 or 3 years ago, but I do think that for them to be I think they would be more of a contender if they just came into the season with Tank Dell and Nico Collins and 3 offensive linemen, whether they're starters or rotational players.
And you remember they just got Steph, so
they definitely got Jeremy Tunsil, and he's legit. But
see, that's why I have them in that category. Is just like you said, Bengals 2 years ago in the Super Bowl with an offensive line that was the epitome of trash.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So as crucial as an offensive line is, which I agree with, it's not the end all.
Got you. It's not the end all be all. If I was to, so when I look at NFL history, if I was to flip it, I've looked at teams that have had the best wide receiver or the best wide receiver core in a bad offensive line. And I've also seen the inverse where a team has like an elite offensive line and like not a very much not good wide receiver core. And the teams that, if in that comparison, don't take anything else, just that comparison, like none of the teams with the bad offensive line and the elite wide receiver core or number 1 wide receivers won a Super Bowl. Where inversely, we can even go back to last year. You give a good enough quarterback a good enough offensive line, and he'll take these trash wide receivers and go win a ring.
No, you're not wrong. Like I said, that's why I'm giving them hope. Is the Bengals and the Colts really with luck, like you said, drag that trash team to the AFC Championship. He didn't have no line. That dude got hit 50 times in his first 2 seasons.
No defense. That defense was so bad that they had to show exactly what they were in to be below average.
Yeah.
So if you saw people at the line of scrimmage, they were blitzing. If they're 2 safeties deep, they're not disguising anything.
Cover 2.
It was it was completely incomparable. It was bad. So yeah, I've watched it in a trash offensive line and stuff like that. I'm like, that's why I'm saying. That's why
I like DeMeco as the Texans coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, kind of, obviously he played for him, but kind of from that Saban tree. Mm-hmm. I feel like he could do some stuff, man. He's going to take that defense to the next level with the additions they've added on cornerback and stuff like that. They got their defensive rookie of the year. I mean, I feel like they're that next ascending team, if we will.
Got you. Okay. So, first of all, that's a good pick. That's a good pick because I do think that there's still an AFC Championship game contender. I just think of them a little bit shorter than winning a Super Bowl. So the question is, are they beating the Chiefs or not? And I'm like, I don't know. So that's a roundabout where I see. But my team for exponentially better, I'm going to Cincinnati Bengals. Let me tell you something. The issue that I have, I've been saying this for years. The Bengals owe Joe Burrow some money for not protecting him. And putting him in harm's way like that. He should have sued them for for them not doing what they were supposed to do with an offensive line. I mean, the man won a playoff game and he got sacked 9 times. I didn't say he got hit 9 times. It was a long game. It was a long day. He got sacked 9 times. He got hit pretty much every play.
Yeah.
And he won the game. So he's been pretty much the only quarterback. Joe Burrow is pretty much the only quarterback that I've seen get hit to that degree and still keep beating elite teams. So I've never seen that. So I'm saying Joe Burrow's coming back. He's not hurt. Now, if he gets hurt again, we're going to have a whole nother conversation because now he's looking a little bit more injury prone. His career career trajectory is looking a lot like Andrew Luck's right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But they fixed it. You understand me? Like they fixed the offensive line and they still
spent a lot, like $300 million on the offensive line or something like that.
And they still have T. Higgins, and they still have Jamar Chase. And that defense is still legitimate. If there's a team that I could see beating the Chiefs, it's the team that is 4-1 against them when Joe Burrow's healthy.
Hey, he's no joke, man.
There's my pitch. I think they got exponentially better.
And he got the hair grown out. He about to cut up.
Did he? I didn't see that. He got long hair now. Oh,
Joe Cole.
Oh,
Joe Cole.
You take it easy on them girls out in Cincinnati, okay? They're not ready for this. They're not ready for that. All right. So talk to me about your who's about to fall off this year. Who's falling off? And tell me why. And tell me how far of a fall that they have.
Out of all the teams I have, I think my biggest fall off team is the Browns. Made the playoffs last year, right? Mm-hmm. But you got, sadly, my boy Nick Chubb, that apparently defenders only like to just take his knees out. He stays hurt with, wide receiver core is meh. Quarterback situation is not great. I don't trust the defense outside of defense player of the year. So I feel like they're gonna be in that lottery pick situation, top 10 pick next year.
Okay, I can see that.
Because the Steelers got better. To your point, Joe Burrow's about to cut up.
So let me ask you this. Is it so? All right, so they're gonna be in a lottery. See, I think that defense is too legit to be back in the lottery. Like, I mean, like that defense was like on pace last year to be like, I'm not saying the best defense of all time, but like statistically speaking, they was like in the top 5 for like that's how I'm saying that's how they got to their 4th quarterback and still made the playoffs because that defense was wreaking havoc on this league.
I love their defense. It's just now in today's league, we have a more offensive driven league. We want to see 52 to 48. You know what I'm saying? We want to see shootouts and stuff like that. So if you have a defense that's great, hold you to 27 points, but we ain't got nobody that can get us 28 points.
So let me ask you this. So they still got Amari Cooper. So they still have Elijah Moore. And now they added Jerry Jeudy. I don't think I'm not saying that's the best receiving core in the NFL. I don't think that's below.
Like I said, I feel like they have a decent wide receiver core, but it goes back to with every team. And then they got
Njoku too, the tight end.
Yeah. And like we've talked about, it goes back to everything we say every time we talk about football. It goes back to the quarterback. If the quarterback's no good, I don't care who you got on the outside. I can't trust Deshaun to stay healthy or get his mind right. And who you got after him? They can't hand the ball off Nick Chubb 40 times a game because at some point, somebody is going to illegally take his kneecap out and he's going to turn around backwards again. He's going to be taken. Yeah, it's happened twice in his career. After he's been cutting up, you're like, oh, he's about to get the Heisman. He's about to go for MVP this year. And then somebody's just like, you know what? I don't think he needs a kneecap.
I don't like it. He was hating. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like none of this.
What was my man's name in Belly? What was his name with the hair eating a banana? I don't like that.
I don't like that. Yeah, that's basically what it was. So,
I
you know, I mean, you're not gonna give it to him 40 times. You don't got, you know what I'm saying? So
got Jerome Ford too.
I'm not saying they're gonna don't have pieces, and on paper it looks nice. But if I'm looking at teams for me to fall off, I'm looking at a playoff team to go from playoff contender to, like I said, lottery pick area, like 1 through 10, 1 through 12. And for me, it's the Browns.
Okay, so my pause on this. I don't think it's unreasonable. Like, all right, would it be the most shocking thing in the world if they made the playoffs again?
No,
So that's my pause on. I
because
understand. I understand.
if
It's
Deshaun is healthy, then yeah, I have no doubts that they can do some work. But he can't say he ain't been healthy in 3 years.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So like, there's a world where the Browns make the playoffs, and I don't know how many dimensions away that actually is. So like, you know what I'm saying? There's a world where like the Titans make the playoffs. That's more worlds away. That's a lot more
Yeah,
worlds away than the Browns making the playoffs. Based on what I'm saying, like I think their roster is better than it was
on
last year.
on paper, great pieces. I agree with you.
I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about that one a little bit, but I'm not mad at it, and I see exactly where you're coming from with that. My fall off team is the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh,
That team is going. They're not going to make the playoffs. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They're going to miss the playoffs. I think this is a year where you're going to see the flaw in the system, but the flaw in Tua, because I don't think they did anything to. I think the league caught up with him, and I haven't seen them do anything in the offseason to say this is the change that we're going to do for that. And I think their defense is worse than it was last year. So they lost Christian Wilkinson,
yeah,
their best defensive lineman. It was supposed to be Christian Wilkinson and Bradley Chubb, as their anchoring,
bookends.
yeah, anchoring the defensive line. However you want to look at that. Christian Wilkinson is gone. I got questions about is Jalen Ramsey still that guy? Um, they lost
Solid question.
they lost Xavier Howard. He's gone. So you're supposed to have bookends at corners, and now one's gone. And Xavier Howard was like a top 5 corner just coming into last year. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying is I look at them, I look at the fact that Tua has to carry stuff. And I've never looked at Tua Tagovailoa as a guy who can carry stuff. Do I think that he would have been better than Brock Purdy in San Fran last year? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I think he's the kind of guy that with less he's going to be able to produce more? Not
No.
not so, and I think that's exactly the scenario that they're in now, and that's exactly the team that I look at.
No, I don't disagree with that. I don't see them making the playoffs either, which is why I had Tua on my ascending quarterbacks list. Like I told you, the same reason I had Trevor on there. Pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do good this year.
Oh, that's like like I'm telling you, if you don't ascend, you're gone.
Yeah. Why am I keeping you? Honestly, I'm giving you a wide receiver core that if Patrick Mahomes had, he might win the next 10 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
If Joe Burrow had, he might win the next 5. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
we've given you a wide receiver core that's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like Joe Burrow could have took the Miami Dolphins to the Super Bowl last year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we're
So
talking about Tua as the problem, especially it not all his fault, especially in a situation where his team is a little bit worse talented than it was last year,
especially defensively, which is never a good thing.
especially defensively. So you can expect more points on the board.
Because Aaron Rodgers is going to throw up numbers to the Jets this year. He didn't play last year,
That's
and everybody, and he old. I know he won an MVP 2 years ago. Blah blah. He gonna come out here and sling like for 4,000 yards. So you got him in your division.
Yeah,
You got
so what I'm saying is, I think what I'm actually looking at. So the Bengals and the Jets are the only 2 teams I think that can legitimately beat I don't think there's any other teams in the AFC that really have a chance to beat the Chiefs
Because of the defense?
this year. I'm talking about this year.
Because of the defense?
You talking about the Jets?
Jets and the Bengals because of their defense? Are you picking them?
Because of their defenses, because of the weapons, because of the quarterbacks they have, because of the fact that they put in work on the offensive lines, all the combination of all of that. Like you kind of tend to forget that the Chiefs have a blatant hole on their roster because because they got Patrick Mahomes, but they have big holes, and when you have big holes, they can be exploited. And in the Chiefs' big holes line up with, in my opinion, strengths of these two teams. It lines up more with the strength of the Jets, but in terms of flipping it pass rushing, I think it also still flips in the favor of the Bengals a little bit as well. Not to say they're gonna win, because that's not what I'm saying. But those are only two teams that I could see it happening. So but once again, I would much rather the Jets. I would be more scared of the Jets coming in at 10-7 than if they came in 13-4.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with those two. But like I said, that's so in the Texans as well. In that I feel like they have that same. They're getting to that same level of defense.
So I think the Texans actually are beneath both of them. Like I don't.
If I'm ranking them, they're probably third.
But what I'm
saying they're still in that upper echelon.
Yeah. I give you that, but I don't give. I'm saying I don't give the Texans a chance to beat the Chiefs. Like in that matchup, I don't think the Texans want to see the Chiefs. I'm not going to go as far as to say that the Bengals or the Jets don't want to see the Chiefs. Like I don't think, as currently constructed, the Texans have what it takes to beat the Chiefs.
I mean, we're gonna find out. Like I said, they got first round, they got second round quarterback, my boy out of Georgia, Kamari, defensive rookie of the year candidate. I mean, offense is blowing up. We're gonna see within the first. I looked at the schedule the other day. I think the first 3-4 weeks you're going to see what you got with them. So I think they're playing like all playoff contenders or something.
Okay. Yeah. So like, that's just what I'm saying. So I do think when I'm going back to what I was saying about the Dolphins, which is where this whole soliloquy came from, to be honest with you. Well, look at the Dolphins. They're the third best team in their division. And is the AFC East putting 3 teams in the playoffs? My answer to that is no.
No, I think it's to your pick with the Bills, and it's probably the Jets. If we're going by within that division, I mean, it's not going to be the Patriots.
It's not going to be the Patriots.
It's not going to be the Patriots. Yeah.
Hey, can I say this? I said this on our last episode. Yo, this has to be talked about more. The fact that the opportunities that black head coaches are getting are these fucked up situations, and saying, "Oh, this is me giving a black guy a chance to run." Like, no. You know how extraordinary you have to be to take. Do you know how extraordinary?
It's not an opportunity. You're giving me a broken down car until you can find a better driver or something. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like.
This is like Fast and Furious, and I got duct tape and wire wrapped around my engine, and you got one of them 10 speeders, and you're like, win the race. It's like, I can't, okay? Nobody can.
I'm trying, I can't.
I swear I'm trying. I
mean, he made some good picks. I like Drake May out of North Carolina. I think he can be a good quarterback for them. Like, it is the Patriots. They're always good on defense, but that's just a trash situation.
It's bad.
Because here's the thing. It's like the guy who tried to follow Phil with the Lakers or with the Bulls. You're not following that. You're not following Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
You're not.
You can win 2 in your tenure there, and you're kind of trash.
Like you give that to a white guy. Okay, let me get the situation after that. You give that still to the white guys. You see what I'm saying? Let them have that.
See, that's the thing. When Nick Saban retired, and everybody was like, "Oh," everybody knew who was going to be next in line to take the job at Alabama. Nobody signed up for that. I'm not coaching after the greatest coach of all time. Are you joking?
Exactly. Hey, absolutely not. And it's good. I don't know who the head coach is, but I'd imagine he's black too. Just because they do things all the time, all the time. It's like, really, that's what you're gonna do.
That's actually it's the dude, the Washington coach. It was in the championship, the white guy.
I don't know his name. I don't know his name. Just in the championship.
Kalen DeBoer. We're gonna see what happens. It's Alabama still, but how long will it be
No, it's
Alabama?
not. No, it's not.
You know what I mean though? Like right now, kids are still they still have a top 3 class because kids are still wanting to go to Alabama.
I mean, if
you come out next year and win 9 games.
Yeah, like nobody wants to. You gotta understand, kids don't want to go to Alabama. They went to because Nick Saban was there and we're going to win. But nobody really wants to go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama for the next 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Unless we win it. If you come in 3 years, I'm gonna win two championships. Bet.
Oh, did you put the thumbs up on there on purpose?
No, did it do it? It just did
the
it.
thumbs up. It's just like that. I feel like you did that. That sounds like you. But the thumbs up and stuff actually sounds like me, but it sounds like you all the same for all the same reasons.
This AI stuff is crazy, man.
My man put a thumbs up on it. I feel you. Hold on, can I do it? Okay, well that's just there. Okay. All right. See? Is it gonna go away? I don't know how to get it away now. Okay, there it is. All right, cool. So we actually got a little bit more time than I actually thought. So I got a new question. I know you're not prepared for this one, but there's been a lot of controversy lately about between the NFL and NBA players about who could exist and what. And what do you think about NBA players being able to play in the NFL and vice versa, NFL players being able to play in the NBA? Do you have is it possible either way, or is one more likely than the other?
You are a different breed if you play football.
Absolutely. We know that.
If you've chosen football and you can take it to the highest level, the NFL, your brain is wired differently. You can't go play basketball. Basketball is finesse.
Absolutely.
Basketball is, you know what I mean? It's like physical. I got to be able to.
You're too physical.
You've been in pickup games where a football player comes out and plays and he's just fouling the whole time. He ain't done one move. He's just fouling folks.
Like the fact of the matter, the fact that Shaq was Shaq was because of how physical he was. We do understand how elevated above the rest physical he was and how unstoppable that was.
Shaq was the most dominant basketball player ever. Yes. And had he chosen football, he would have been dominant just because of his size. Mm-hmm. There are certain basketball players, based off their size, if they had the skill set for it, could have played football. I'm not saying that's not true. I'm saying, though, an NBA player today cannot go and play in the NFL, even off the bench, and be of any good. And the same thing the other direction, unless you just want him on the bench. Hey, man, go get me 6 fouls. Mm-hmm. Go out there on Joker and get me 6 hard fouls on him, and that's your whole job.
Yeah, see that's where it gets interesting. So my honest thought is, I think there's a couple NBA players that could play like wide receiver,
tight end, maybe. You know what I mean? Like
no, not tight end. No, zero can go in and play tight end. I think there's a couple that could play wide receiver. I think there's a couple that might even be able to play running back. Depending on if they worked on quarterback, of course, I think quarterback could be a position that they could because they don't get hit that much.
Defense, no way. They couldn't play nothing on defense.
Well, they're definitely a cover 3 corner because they're not doing any bump and run at all on this whole situation.
They are playing in the slot, and this is your little circle, sir.
No, they ain't playing to the slot. That's too close to contact. But so inversely, there's a couple NFL extraordinary NFL players that were absolutely NBA or college basketball players. So some that come to mind: Jimmy Graham,
Draymond,
the tight end. What was the tight end? Gates. Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez. Who's another one that was Julius Peppers. You know what I mean? So I think
Large men,
yeah,
very large men.
yes. So what I'm saying is that leads me to think that it's possible. You know what I mean? More possible for NBA players to come into the NFL in those positions. Because as
And
soon as
those
you
are
come
six
inside
positions.
at that specific positions, and by the way, they're going to be like Warwick Dunn. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be that kind of running back if they're a running back.
Yeah.
Okay? You're going to run the ball like that. Okay. You're not going in the tackles and then breaking off inside, and then you're going to see the linebacker come hit you, or that safety's coming down after you broke that first tackle and he's going to knock you the fuck out. So that's, I think it's very short lived, but I think there's a couple that could do it. And that's really how I feel.
Yeah, like I said, it's just the way you have to be wired to play football. I think it's a difficult mindset because, as you know, in basketball,
Something wrong with
there,
us. There was something
there's
wrong
no
with us.
there's no stopping in basketball unless someone fouls or the ball goes out of bounds or timeout. Other than that,
Now,
you just don't stop.
yes. Now
Football,
I will
you
say
at least
this.
get a little break.
Right. Now I will say this. I played defense because I didn't want the hits that I didn't see coming hitting me. I liked delivering hits. I will say I played defense. I don't know if that's a mentality of I want to hit you, or it's also, I don't know, it's kind of column A, column B, because I didn't want you hitting me like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. So
Defense was definitely the way to go. I hated offense.
I play defense because I like delivering the hits. I do not want to be hit like that.
No.
Delivering it. So it's interesting. All right, Daniel came in, killed the episode as usual. What's going on? You got any plans this summer or whatever?
Like I said, traveling. We after we get the boy off to school, we're hoping to get it back to the East Coast, come hang out with you, the rest of the family, a little bit. Probably just trying to make a wrap around the whole country, seeing everybody.
Well, you told Casey I can't wait to see her again, and she's amazing. You're a very lucky man. Make sure that trip is in September, because I'm going to actually be going for the summer. So
Oh, we had it back to Mexico.
I wasn't in Mexico. First of all, don't be telling these people. And I want to keep my location.
He's in Colombia. Where's you at?
Don't be telling people where I'm gonna be, okay? I don't want the people. You know, I'm a star now. You see what I'm saying?
Hey!
I can't have people just rolling up on me. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? Nah, of course, yeah. I'm gonna be back in Colombia, but I'm gonna be in a different area. I'm gonna be in Barranquilla this summer.
Okay, cool. No, okay, September then. Yeah, we can probably make that happen.
Let's do that then. But of course, you're gonna be back here before that. I can tell you that right now.
Of course.
So, without further ado, once again, we want to thank you to everybody who tuned in to this episode. You can catch our full episodes on Spotify and YouTube. Catch the reels. The reels are going crazy. I'm not meaning to talk about you with these reels, man. Yo, listen, man, I'm telling you, I done had a couple, you know what I mean, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 views, you know what I'm saying? A couple, like, you know what I mean, 800, 900 likes, 500 comments. You're like, we doing our thing a little bit. So you can catch the reels on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We all over the place. And Daniel, yo, you know I love you to death, man. But unfortunately, I got to tell you, cause you don't know football, I got to break the news to you.
I'm working on
it. And just like Martin said, I'm gonna see you when I see you. Peace.